Thank you so much for being here. My name is John Fanning, and I'm a member of the Build-A-Board team here. I'm just so honored and privileged to be here, but I'll speak a little bit later. First off, we want to start with the national anthem, which is going to be sung by Maddie Malone.
Hands up.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaked, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Wow, thank you, Maddie. That was amazing. An amazing way to start the day. I'm going to introduce John Tuzik from the Select Board, selectman here in the town of Hanover.
Good morning. It is an honor to speak before you on behalf of the Board of Selectmen and the residents of Hanover and a very special yet solemn day. We are grateful to Cindy, Olivia, and Jack Chesna for sharing this day with all of us. We would also like to thank Charlie and Mimi, Michael's parents, and his brother Everett. Events like these are so meaningful to all of us, but it can be difficult because of the raw brutality of Michael's death. It's almost inexplicable and inflicted a wound on the family that will never heal. Sergeant Michael Chesna's end of watch was July 15, 2018. He was the victim of a senseless act of savagery. This is a stark and grim reminder to all of us of the danger faced by those men and women who dedicate their lives to protecting us and serving our communities. The Officer Down Memorial reports that there have been 125 line of duty deaths this year alone. There were 631 last year, and 2,495 officers have lost their lives in the line of duty in the last 10 years. Every day, brave officers leave home to work their shift not knowing what lies ahead of them. Some don't return. This is an incredible burden to bear, not just for the individuals who commit themselves to public service, but also their families. It has not been an easy time to be a police officer in America. In Hanover, we appreciate, support, and are grateful for the men and women in blue, and we thank them for their service. Let this place not only be a reminder to all who visit of the memory of Michael Chesna and his sacrifice, but also a tribute to those in law enforcement who work selflessly to help others when they are at their most vulnerable. Thank you very much.
Like I said before, my name is John Fanning, and a resident here in Hanover and also a member of the Build the Boards team. I want to thank everyone who came here today, elected officials, John Delaney, John Tuzik, our town manager Joe Colangelo, Chief Kane in your department, Chief Fuller in your department, Quincy Police, Weymouth Police, Mass State Police. Thank you so much for being here. Representative DeCoste, thank you for being here, sir. I want to thank these color guards for being here and all the community volunteers from the town. Everyone here in one form or another has helped us reach where we are today. I want to especially thank the Chesna family for being here. Cindy, Jack, Olivia, Chuck, Mimi, Eric, thank you. Thank you for being here on this day of honor, in honor of Mike. We gave this rink over to the town a few months ago, but I'd be remiss if I didn't do a quick thank you to some of the people that were key players in getting this rink built. First and foremost is Chris Carney, who was on the Build the Boards team. Chris did a lot. I'll just leave it at that. He prepped this site and brought a lot of things in. I want to thank the Bruins Foundation, Bob Sweeney and John Whitesides. They donated $50,000. All the town committees, especially CPC and AdCom, for supporting this project. I'd also like to thank Johnny Abbott and John Mahoney, who really got the ball rolling on this. I'd like to thank past and present select boards. You've been with us from the beginning. In particular, John and Dave, you were here for the entire project. And most importantly, I'd like to thank the Build the Boards team, but I'm not done with them yet. So, on July 15th, 2018, this community, this state, our nation, suffered a terrible loss. Some of you may know that I worked for the state police and responded to Weymouth that day in an investigative capacity. I can say that in nearly 20 years on the job, it was the hardest day of my career. When I arrived home that night at 11 p.m., I jotted a note down on my phone and it kind of encapsulated the feelings of that day. Here's what I wrote. Days like today, you can see evil face to face. You see, we control nothing. Then in the midst of it all, you see people working hard and strangers taking care of strangers. Professionals working for one another and caring for each other. Putting it all on the line. Despite what you see on TV, people care for one another. I came home tonight feeling many things, but I saw many things today that give me hope. When you see support like I saw today, you would not be hopeless about society and our future. Dated July 15th, 2018, 11 p.m. When I was out in Weymouth that day, working with law enforcement from across the area, I started receiving texts from the Build the Boards team that they were immediately pivoting a planned fundraiser we had to build this rink to raise money for the Chesna family. I can't tell you what that meant to me at that time, to know that there were people supporting us. Because of the community, we were able to raise $45,000 for the Chesna family, and that's because of all of you here today. The Build the Boards team is full of veterans, law enforcement, and most importantly, dedicated community members who have supported us through thick and thin. It's these members that I'd like to recognize. And I want to especially thank them for their dedication. First, we have Joe Gray, member of the Massachusetts State Police. Bob Malone, an Army veteran of Afghanistan. Dennis Keenan, an Army veteran and Quincy police officer. But as I said in the beginning, It doesn't matter whether we're veterans or law enforcement or part of a first responder community. If we don't have people like the two that the two or three I'll talk about, what is really a community about? And that's Paul Nimiskern, Nimbo as he's known, and Chris Brown. Thank you for being here with us, gentlemen. Thank you for doing the little things. Thank you for supporting us and being here with us. I'd also like to thank Mark Watson, who's not here, Chris Carney, Seth Fratazio for helping us lay down the paint. What we saw in Hanover in the days and weeks that followed was simply amazing. We had fellow officers from across the state and region commenting on what a wonderful, supportive community we have here in Hanover. Finally, this past May, you all unanimously voted to name this street hockey rink the Sergeant Michael Chesna Memorial Rink. Mike was a combat veteran, a Purple Heart recipient, a police officer. He was an avid sports fan and especially loved the Bruins. Most importantly, he was a husband, he was a father, he was a son, he was a brother, an uncle, and a friend to so many. He was and is a member of this community. Cindy, Olivia, Jack, Mimi, Chuck, Eric, we will always be here to support you. We will never forget your sacrifice. We love you and we're with you. Thank you. If we could, I'd like the building board members to give some flowers to the Chesna family. Thank God I stood up here for one extra minute because we're all done. But I almost forgot one of the most important people. First off, a shout out to HYHA for, and Ryan Foley for supporting so many of these adventures. But most importantly is the glue that holds it all together. I'm sure it's the same in the Gray household, but it's Bevan Gray. Bevan, can you raise your hand for me, please? I know you don't like the attention. Bevan carried the fundraiser, the Chesna family. She carried us today. Thank you so much. We couldn't do it without you. I promise you that. Thank you. That concludes today. If the Chesna family could come up, we'd like to take some pictures with the color guard. So what you'll see here on the stone is just a replica of what's coming, like everything in the world. The actual metal plaque is on back order. So we have a temporary one. It looks really nice, and hopefully here in the next few weeks we'll have the real one mounted. But if the Chesna family could come up, we'd like to take some photos. And again, thank you all for coming in and supporting us, but most importantly, the Chesna family.